My name is Taylor Dueweke. I am a documentarian here in Harbor Springs. Yeah, when I was a high schooler, I went to Harbor High and I started making silly videos then. And I determined that I wanted to become a documentarian, so I went to film school, and after film school, I moved out to Boston and I worked at a production company. We did a lot of different documentaries and museum media, and there's been a ton of different films, but the one I'm most proud of is the story of the Boston Strangler. We did a 2-hour film for Discovery in which we suggested a new suspect that has never been talked about before, someone I was able to find. And as we were interviewing all the police investigators and people in the state government in Massachusetts, these dummies decided to reopen the case and investigate it. And it's a 50-year-old cold case, but they managed through DNA evidence to prove that their suspect, they said did it, murdered the last victim. Our suspect was still viable, so we did a 12-episode podcast. And then after we were done with that, Hollywood took their shot. And in 2023, the Boston Strangler came out, starring Keira Knightley, and our suspect managed to get on screen, and it was included in the film. And that's because I was a consultant for the story. They called me. I have managed to gather the largest private archive library about the Boston Strangler out of anyone on Earth. And that means if someone's going to tell that story, I'm going to get a call. And what ended up happening is I moved back here during the pandemic, and I've always heard stories about Club Ponytail. And I was just a kid when I first heard them. And I told myself, when I'm older, I'll make a film about Club Ponytail. And here we are today. The ponytail is for sale. We're sitting outside of the building now. And there's so much more to the story than we ever understood previously. We've been doing this for about 6 months now. If you count the first time I heard the story of the Club Ponytail, it would be 24 years, but we don't count that, you know? But it just is, it's very new, you know? There's just so many more ponytails out there to gather, and that's what we're trying to do right now. There's a great, there's like a local legend here that everyone in Harbor Springs loves. His name is Virgil Haynes. And Virgil Haynes is this great photographer. What I was surprised to learn is his bread and butter, what made him money to keep the lights on, was portrait photography and wedding photography. The same thing everyone with a camera does up here, right? And he was able to do enough of that to take these iconic photos that are cherished. So what I would say to a young professional wanting to live in Northern Michigan and work is don't lose your passion for your passion projects, just like Virgil Haynes. Like, he is just revered here. You see his imagery all over every restaurant and museum, and he was still grinding doing wedding videos and photography, right? So you gotta make it work where you are. The main reason I'm back in town, it's because Harbor Springs is beautiful. And it's something out of a storybook. It's hard to describe. If you grew up here, you don't really notice it until you leave and you come back. But it doesn't seem real. It seems like a Hollywood movie. The stories here are out of Hollywood too. So it's hard to leave a place that's so beautiful and rich with stories when you yourself are a storyteller. Hi, I'm Taylor Dueweke, and I chose the North.